Hello and welcome back, everyone, here at C Esports Championship 2021 for League of Legends Wild Rift. I'm Infinity, and together with me is Omo, and it is once again an honor to be here with you, Omo. What's up? What's doing? What's great?
Oh man, it's been a while, right? It's been a long couple months. We have a lot of Wild Rift action going on. Horizon Cup just concluded, but we're here with something pretty exciting as well. It's another regional tournament for you guys. It's gonna be the C Esports Championship, and of course, this is just the Singapore qualifier, so we will have the top Singaporean teams battling it out. But still, it's pretty exciting to get a preview.
Yeah, and this tournament, of course, is not going to happen without our main organizer,
Yeah,
Singapore Esports Association, official hydration sponsor, 100 Plus, supporting partner, Prism Plus, a part of Jeff Festival as well, and of
yeah.
course, powered by Rizzo.
Yeah, a lot of sponsors. Thanks to all these guys. I personally am a big fan of 100 Plus. They are constantly giving us a bunch of 100 Plus goodies and merch and whatever. So that's amazing. I've been drinking 100 Plus every single day because of the cases of 100 Plus they've been giving out. So thanks a lot to them. And I'm using a Prism monitor as well. So I'm not paid by them or anything, but great stuff.
Yeah, amazing stuff. I mean, it keeps you hydrated from 100 Plus, and it's just amazing to be here. See Esports Championship, and Omo, I want to go quickly into what happened in League of Legends Wild Rift in the past few days. Maybe just
Yes.
yesterday, right? It's patch 2.6.
That's right. So I confessed to you earlier on. I'm gonna have to confess to our audience as well. I don't read patch notes, so I'll figure it out as we go along. But I do know Morgana and KO are released. I don't know if
Mhm.
they're enabled for this event though, so we'll need to find out about that one. I do believe they are disabled. Let me just double check on that. I do believe both these champions are going to be disabled. And I saw you play a pretty mean Morgana yesterday, so we're not going to be able to see that today, sadly.
Well, it's not the greatest Morgana. It's not the greatest
It was pretty
Morgana,
good.
but it's pretty good indeed. It has a lot of CCs, and it's actually kind of good as a team player. But earlier today, before we actually jumped into this broadcast, we were
Yeah,
talking about, a little bit about patch 2.6, Amumu to be specific, because right now, Bandage Toss, you can now recharge up to 2 stacks. And I'm
that's right.
wondering, are we going to see an Amumu support? Is it viable?
I mean, I would hope so, right? But then the thing is, you gotta consider as well, like, what marksman are you pairing with a Mumu? Misfortune is not super popular right now, so you're not gonna get to see the curse of the sad bullet time, sadly. Other than that, I'm trying to think what else we might see. Maybe something like a Kai'Sa, maybe something like a Xayah. I think that would be super fun. I don't know if the teams have been practicing this, because the teams that we do have coming to the finals, we were actually just watching them play in the group stages a while ago.
Yeah, and we saw a lot of champions, right? We saw
Yeah,
Vayne, we saw Xayah, and this might just be spoilers for the viewers watching at home, but these are actually great champions, right? We're going
yeah,
back to classics on what we saw from the Horizon Cup. These are popularized champions, and I like how you mentioned about like a misfortune not going up there, but
yeah.
it's going to be interesting if it shows up. Like a
Oh,
team
yeah.
fight comp, it's going to be great.
I think it will be a lot of fun because we saw a lot of Jarvan get picked. So if you get
Mhm.
something like a Jarvan, a Moo Misfortune, you get the whole Bronzodia comp coming in, I think it's gonna be a lot of fun to watch. Might not be the best right now in the meta, but it will be a lot of fun for the viewers. And I think the two teams that we have playing next know each other pretty well, right? Inside the
Yeah.
Rift, outside the Rift. A lot of them have played together or against each other on PC as well. So there's a lot of history, a lot of familiarity there. So if we see some more fun comps come out, I wouldn't be all too surprised.
Yeah, and that's what I love about League of Legends Wild Rift. The limit is endless, right? You can have coming up with Jarvan for support. We've seen it in professional
Yeah.
play before, and these are the
Yes.
type of things that I want to see, right? Because traditional is no longer the meta. Untraditional keeps on happening, and just putting
Innovation.
out,
Innovation.
yes, right? Creativity, innovation. Because standard right now, you have already learned about the counter bans, the counter picks to that, right? And what if you bring
Yeah.
something interesting and unexplored? You also have unexplored champion pool to counter that champion, which brings up a whole nother level of this minigame in the draft.
Yeah, it'll be super fun to see, especially when the teams are more familiar with each other. The mini games get more in depth. You start thinking, if I pick this, they're gonna ban that, they're gonna pick that to counter pick me, and then you start banning to preempt that, and there's a whole bunch of stuff that can come true because of that, and that's always a lot of fun to watch. Of course, we're not gonna be going to draft yet. It will be coming very soon, and I do have word from our production that sadly today, Morgana, Kale, Mundo are all gonna be disabled, as well as the new items, so we're not gonna get to see that sadly.
Unfortunate, because the new items are actually kind of amazing, right? But
Yeah.
hopefully we could see that another day, maybe next time, maybe in the next weeks to come. However, production already stated that we are moments away from the draft. We
right.
are here, Omo, and this is the time we're in. We're formulating the draft. We're formulating what we could see later on.
Yeah, it's gonna be super exciting because, like we mentioned, we literally just saw these two teams play in a best of two, I think. Because the way that this format works for this tournament, for this qualifier, is we had, I think, 4 teams play a double round robin group stage, and the top 2 teams, based on points, based on win loss, would get into the grand finals. And these 2 teams were the last 2 teams to face off in the round robin. It was a 2-0 from Alliance, as was kind of expected, but it wasn't without the opposing team putting up a fight. I don't know what name they're playing under. We'll have to double check. I think it's something like Dear Monster. We'll have to take a look when we're in game. But yeah, okay, yeah, it is Dear Monsters. So Dear Monsters did put up quite a good fight. So we'll have to see how this one plays out in the grand finals, because they literally just played 2 games against each other. And
Well,
if this is the best of 5, we might see a full 7 games in Finland.
as you stated already, the teams that have most points, and these teams are battling it out once again. And even if
Yeah.
they lost a while ago from Alliance, we're seeing it once again. Are they going to have their vengeance run? But right now, we're speeding on to the draft here. Omo, what are you seeing?
Well, I see right off the get-go, it's gonna be Camille for Shinsekai, and it's gonna be Renekton here for CYH on the side of Deal Monster. It's a little bit of a tidbit, right? Because yesterday, they have a group chat where they're in the same group chat. They were talking to each other, and SSK asked CYH, "What are you gonna play today, CYH?" And he said, Renekton something something, Renekton Camille something. And then SSK said, "Okay, I'll play Camille, you play Renekton." And in the grand finals, they're doing it.
You know what? It's a whole different negotiations, right? Or in game, you have negotiations in the form of the Rift Herald and the Dragon. Who's gonna take it first in the 4-minute mark? But this is a whole next level gameplay right here.
Yeah.
For C Esports Championship. But so far, we have a trash to follow up, as you've stated, for the side of Alliance. What will the last pick be?
We'll see what it's gonna be, and it looks like Gragas here is gonna be the pick. Still a possible flex. We're not gonna see Camille in the jungle anymore, so that means Camille is going to top lane. You know that Trash is gonna be a support, so the Gragas flex is between mid and jungle. And I want to point out why the left side team is so interesting here, because we have the mid jungle coming in from Banana, who played at the C Championships as well, while the other 3 players were from Alliance. So it's kind of like a bit of a Singaporean roster mashup here between Alliance and Banana. So it's pretty interesting to see how they're gonna flex this Gragas between the Banana players in the mid and jungle, because that's gonna be a Senna Mel fight here. We saw SBTC play that a lot at the Horizon Cup.
And it's just too much poke, right? You have Malphite
Yeah.
throwing stones, and you have Senna just going in with a ghosting. And right here, we've just finished with the first rotation picks, and now we're jumping right through with the ban. Zaya and Caitlyn removed from the right side team, and now Alliance bans away Corki.
Lions banning away Corki because they know right now what is the side of Dear Monsters lacking. They're lacking that DPS. So you remove the best mid lane DPS option in form of Corki. What are they gonna play? It really heavily limits their options, and it looks like it's gonna be a Diana that they're gonna play. Look at this though, so much aggression, just throwing down the gauntlet here from Alliance. We saw in the last game, it was off stream, but we saw Raven play Vayne Lulu with CWJ. Now they're gonna be playing Draven Trash here, just throwing down the gauntlet. They're saying we want to be aggressive, we want to bully you in the Dragon lane. Let's see how it plays out.
Yeah, from a while ago, early game's in the game, and right now, we're going to see it once again. Well, rather, late game is in the game a while ago because of Vayne, but Raven with Raven, you know what? They're matching when it comes to their names, and hoping we could see something big right now in the match number 1 that we have. But to finish this draft off, we have Jax though for the right side.
Yeah, that's going to be very interesting. I do want to make a quick point as well. The only thing that Raven is missing to become Draven is he's missing the D. So we got to give him the D, and he's going to be a Draven player. What we did see from Glaciar's last game, and what we did see the entire Horizon Cup, is this Jax jungle was so strong. It was so dominant, especially when played by Huiba. Let's see if Glacius can give us a similar performance here.
Yeah, and I believe this is actually kind of a good scenario for Ajax to come up because you're fighting up against Raven, and Raven is all about that normal attack. And if you have Jax, you have that potential to cancel it.
That's a great point there, Infinity, and with the Rengar as well, when he jumps on you, he's gonna be basic attacking you, empowering his basic attacks. Jax gets to dodge all of that. Camille as well, she's trying to empower kick you, you're gonna dodge all of that. So a lot of power here from the Jax, it's empowered by the Senna as well. Malphite's gonna engage for you, Diana's gonna engage for you, and you really just get to come in and clean up. I think this is pretty much the dream scenario for Jax right now.
Yeah, definitely. Although, one of the problems that I'm seeing with that draft, though, is the Jax.
Well, that's one of the problems.
Yeah, well, that's one. But another would be, without that potential to dodge, if the skill duration is gone, he's too squishy. Yeah. So what will be the steps here? They need to secure that sort of playstyle wherein Jax comes through, they need to get a kill. If they don't, that Raven's just gonna smash them.
Yeah, I completely agree with you here, and I think the thing that Dear Monster side really need to focus on is find themselves some sort of avenue to get some scaling going, because if you look at their team comp, Senna scales infinitely, Malphite's great with a couple items. They're not going to do too well in lane against Draven Trash, but if you survive that lane, if you get the 2 items, and your Jax gets through the laning phase safely, gets to 5-6 minutes without dying a single time, that's a pretty good scenario for that Dear Monster. If they just trade objectives, they start scaling up. We'll see what they can really do in the mid game. On the other side, though, Alliance, their team comp, it's just a fist, right? It's just a fist coming at your face. Yeah. They're trying to pound you from the lane phase.
Yeah, right. I mean, you see Rengar, you see Camille, you see this Gragas. It's pretty much Draven having so much peel from his team.
Yes. Exactly. So much safety. The Lantern as well. The Flays as well. He has his own protection in the form of his third skill to knock away the Jax as well. So many things to look out for here. And I want to point out right from the get-go, the bottom lane here, heavy trading going on. Raven already half health. Ignite and heals being traded by both of these bot laners as well.
Yeah, it's something great. It's something amazing. A lot to expect here from this game number 1 of Alliance versus Dear Monster here at SEA Esports Championship 2021. But a while ago, Omo, we talked about good scenarios from any of these teams. Let's talk about the winning conditions. What do they need to do in this game 1?
Well, so far so good here for the side of Alliance, right? They need to make sure the lane goes well, and it looks like the lanes are going pretty good right now. We talk a lot about this Camille matchup with Renekton because it's one of the most popular matchups. I might need to hold that thought there, heavy trading the mid lane as well.
Yeah, and Jax responds very quickly if ever something happens badly. Yeah. When it comes down to Dear Monster, but...
Oh boy. Well, this is exactly what Alliance want to do.
Oh, Renekton is flying through, uses up the flash, and now he's safe. Now SSK reversed it back. He goes in for the sweeping edge, but he gets the first blood for the side of Dear Monster, and they get 2 out of that.
Yeah, that's exactly not what you want to do if you're on the side of Alliance. Amazingly played there from CYH. Great mechanics coming through from him as well. Gets the level 5 on the last kill, gets his ultimate, and turns it around on Vendetta. On the opposite side of the map, though, Raven and CWJ, they're trading heavily here.
Now, Draven, from Raven, going in for some damage. But we're seeing already the early aggression coming from Alliance in the bot lane.
Yes, definitely. And we see both flashes getting blown by Smurf as well as I Don't Lose here. And that's going to be huge because without flash, the moment this Rengar ultimate comes down, you have nowhere to run.
Yeah.
But look at that. Jax is coming right back
but
around.
You can't hide. Ooh, Jax jumping in with a stun onto Raven. Now Raven with a lantern. Not going to be enough though.
That's so unfortunate right there. They try to execute with the Draven ultimate, weren't able to get it, and they were barely not able to get out on the Dark Passage as well. Glacius with the repeat trip to bot lane makes it work, but Vendetta with the repeat trip to top lane as well. Both of these junglers heavily camping one of these side lanes.
Yeah, and Alliance having these rotations coming from Vendetta. This was a double-edged sword a while ago, right? Double kill already for CYH. And now they need to reverse that once again. They need to reverse that mistake to bring back their kill standing, because right now, Dear Monster is 2 kills ahead.
Yeah, 2 kills ahead. It's not going to be a great scenario for Alliance because, like we said, they need to get the early game going in their favor. That's definitely not the case right now. Renekton might have died to a gank, but don't forget, he double killed before. He's still 300 gold up on SSK. In the bottom lane here, even though they were winning the 2v2 because your junglers are swapping sides of the map, it's still going in favor of Dear Monster because they've managed to stabilize this bottom lane.
Yeah, Glacios is so proactive, right? He is
Yeah.
there consistently, and even then we talk about the kill standing, the kill lead from Dear Monster, we're still having that gold equality for both teams.
Yeah, exactly. Both of these teams, the gold is basically the same now. Objectives are spawning. We see Alliance, they're going for the Rift Herald. Vendetta is spotted out, and none of these teams want to give this one up. But Dear Monster, they do have a number advantage. They're going for Zinkai 2 in the mid lane, not quite able to get the kill just yet, and that's Gragas' cast expanded. Rift Herald gets started, SSK gets caught. What's going on here?
Yeah, they went in for the delay tactic. Alliance will lose. They're standing on the Rift Herald, and SSK flashes over the wall to safety.
Oh, Belly gets out of that one alive. I thought the red buff might be enough to take him down. It wasn't quite, and because of that desync play on the mid lane, Dear Monster, they pick up the Rift Herald. They're gonna get press turret Infinity.
Oh, but that sentence alongside with a Moonfall almost delays it, but you cannot delay the inevitable, and that will be a kill for Alliance.
Ooh, but this entire time, we lost track of Raven. He's been farming up the Storm here, gets the entire turret gold in his pockets as well. That's so important when you're playing the Draven. But Dear Monster, they're not done just yet. They still have the Rift Herald. They want to go for 2 here, Infinity.
Yeah, they want to divide and conquer here, pushes on top lane. They might actually get that tier 2 turret, but Soul comes through with a response. Malphite is here to defend, is here to peel. But they won't be able to come through, and Jax will just get dismantled. Alliance takes another.
And Raven picks up the kill, and that's exactly what the Draven needs to do. He needs to cash in on his stacks. 6,000 gold right now. Bloodthirst, the BF sword. He's big Draven. When he goes home, he might even be able to finish off that BF sword. And we see a lot of turrets being traded. Alliance, these fights look so close. But you gotta keep in mind, Alliance are trading turrets this entire time. Dear Monster, they weren't able to get tier 2 top. If not, that might be a different story. But now gold lead in Alliance's favor.
SSK is hunting, is looking for his prey as Jinkai 2 wants to retreat, but Rengar, with a thrill of the hunt, hunts him down. Glacios goes for the response though. Can he catch up as Vendetta is low? Used up the flash over onto the bush as Glacios comes through, but he cannot secure the kill. But Senna with ultimate puts him down.
That's every single ultimate expended by both of these teams, but it will be Vendetta dropping in exchange for Zinkai 2. I want to remind you guys as well, Zinkai 2 was the Baron laner of Banana at C Championship, so a lot of grudge matches going on here. Flash hook lands from Weijin.
Nice play coming in from Thresh. CWJ doing work here.
Exactly, doing a lot of work on this trash. That Proto Belt enchantment buy is really working out for him. He's been popping on this trash. Keep in mind, no ultimates here.
Now CWJ goes in for the flank, uses up the ultimate, slows down onto Smurf, alongside with the ultimate from Gragas, brings another one, 6 feet under, and Alliance has secured their kill lead that they're looking for.
Kill lead, gold lead, turret lead, objective lead, they've got it all right now, Infinity. The Alliance right now, 5,000 gold, nearly 6,000 gold, like we talked about. Raven the Draven, he went home, he picked up the Eye Edge, has the Zhonya's as well. Who's killing this man, Infinity?
No one. It's 3-1-0. You have
so.
the Eye, you have Bloodthirster. How? You have extra shield
like,
for passive, right?
Yeah, you're gonna pop 1 crit with your axe, and you're gonna heal like 2 bars of health right off that.
He's going to be unkillable, and Dear Monster has to produce every single ultimate, saving it up for Raven the Draven. But for now, safety all around for both teams.
Safety all around for both teams, but Raven the Draven, you gotta keep in mind that Zhonya's is so effective against the team comp of Dear Monster as well. Because how does their damage patterns work? They have a Jax who jumps on you, they have Diana who wants to move for you, and a Malphite that wants to pulverize you as well. All of these things are dodgeable by Zhonya, so one pickup here on that enchantment effectively nullifies the entire comp of Dear Monster.
Yeah. And that brings him to so much confidence here for Raven, right? You see him now jumping in for Vendetta. He's going through that 3v3. CWJ is going for the peel. But look at Raven the Draven. He is not getting killed. And that Bloodthirster is doing so much for him as he lives all through that 3v1. He gets bursted down and Moonfall comes through, hitting up on Raven. And Raven is just smashing all throughout every single fight, and he gets a triple.
Oh. Gets the triple, and like we said, nothing is enough to kill him. They nearly take him down with the Malphite out, with the Jax diving on him, but because it was desynced, because Diana wasn't there, it means they were just lacking that much damage. And look at his health right now, Infinity. He's full HP again. He's just life-stealing like crazy. If you don't one-shot him, you're never gonna kill him.
Yeah, it's from 0 to 100 HP. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. You know what? Hit me all you want. I'm going to refill that HP bar in a blink of an eye. But right now,
Exactly.
Omo, it's Mountain Dragon and Rift Herald. Paint me a picture. What will happen next year?
It's not a pretty picture, I can tell you that much for sure. I feel like the win condition remains the same for Dear Monster. Can you kill Raven? And if you cannot, he's gonna shred you to pieces. It really is that simple.
Well, we'll
Going
see
on
about
SSK.
that. Yeah, their monster is here onto the bot lane. SSK goes in for the lantern, but will not live. And now it's Alliance trying to go back in to go for the counter engage. And CYH 2v1 Vendetta is very low, but that second skill brings him back to life. And Alliance once again smashes down their monster.
Yeah, just nowhere to run. They make a play on SSK, but the reaction is so quick from Alliance. Vendetta is ready with the Trill of the Hunt. WJ is ready with the Death Passage, and they will just trade right back around.
Yeah, and now, what we stated a while ago, it is not a pretty picture here for Dear Monster. The Moonfall is already wasted with 3v1, 4v1. He cannot go away, he cannot run, he cannot hide. He's there to die.
He is there to die. I like that, Infinity. It's succinct, but it covers the entire story right now. That's basically what's going on for Dear Monster across the board. Every single lane, they are just here to die. Rift Herald is picked up, but Dear Monster, they're desperately trying to trade, but they're not nearly quick enough.
Yeah, I mean, SSK is there. Even if Dear Monster goes in, all in, onto the Mountain Dragon, SSK could just jump in, right? And that leaves us. The Lions going for the Mountain Dragon, secures 2 objectives.
Oh man, they get it all, Infinity. 10 minutes, 10,000 gold lead. It's exactly the picture we do not like to see if we're hoping for a close game. But if you're an Alliance fan, well, this is exactly what you want to see, right? They are the premier Singaporean team for a reason. They need to be pulling off, you know, a dominating performance here, a convincing performance here. And I think in this game 1, they've done just that.
It's showing. It's showing. Their experience, their playstyle, it's here today, Omo. It's here today.
Yeah. And I want to like paint a bit of a picture for you here, Infinity. This one is slightly pretty. So SSK though is going to get a bit caught out. Let's see how this one plays out.
Yeah, you have Rengar here, you have Diana here, and they're a Malphite instead of coming through to the backside, and that will be their monster getting it. But Ignite. Ooh, almost.
Almost taking down Zinkai 2, not able to do so because the heal comes true at the end of that one. I feel like it was a bit of a misplay from SSK if he uses the Hextech Ultimatum there to dodge on the Moonfall like he was trying to do, but he was a bit slow. Might have been able to trade 1-for-1. Raven though.
The Jack that we're talking about, Stacey Zanchan, delays this fight. Who's going for it as Alliance actually goes in? Raven, he dies and no more damage coming through, and Vendetta has to do some miracle play. CWJ with a death sentence puts this upside down, and Alliance has went in and dominated with that ace.
Another ace here for Alliance this time around. That was the picture I wanted to paint you, Infinity. It doesn't exactly matter if Raven dies, because you gotta keep in mind, Vendetta was an insane performer for Team Banana at the C Championships as well. Do you remember the Kha'Zix Panther kill that he got? Do you remember how he was carrying every single game with his Riven? He's doing it here with this Rengar as well. You kill Raven, you burn everything on Raven, Vendetta's still alive. He can still carry the fights.
Yeah, he's like a trampoline, right? Playing that Kha'Zix with that Pentacle. He's just jumping all around consistently every single fight. And now he's doing it once again, but with a different champion. Now it's Rengar.
Yeah. One of his trademark champions as well, but here we go. Shinsekai with the Hextech Ultimatum on the Smurf. Nowhere to go.
Ultimate. Now very low. CWJ brings him back. And now it's Rengar trying to live, trying to run. That Ignite's actually going to burn him down, but not enough to kill him. And now Alliance with Smurf dead, they can go for Baron.
Yeah, they do it so fast. Look at the minimap right now. Raven doesn't even need to be there. It's just Rengar. Rengar shreds true neutral objectives, and that's exactly what he's doing.
And this is what we
Here we
talked
go.
about. When it comes to the early game, this is where Alliance B. CWJ is here to peel. Raven the Draven is going back. He cannot live for a 4v1. He's safe. That's the most important thing. But Vendetta just jumps through into the backside with the flag. And now Dear Monster gets pincered. And they get eliminated as Merv is the only one alive. But Alliance is here to finish this game 1. As Nexus is down to half HP and GG.
Not a pretty picture there, Infinity, at the end of that one. It started off looking really good because we said Alliance needs to snowball. They weren't able to do so. CYH got that double kill at top lane, 1v2. But still, Alliance, when push comes to shove, they pull out way ahead.
Yeah. And it's just to go back into what we keep on talking about prior to this game, right? Raven the Draven, if they get that early game, you also have Rengar. When they get that passive, it's going to be a smashing game for Alliance.
And that's exactly what we saw there. It was, without a doubt, a smashing game 1 performance. You pull out Raven the Draven, you pull out the Draven trash bot lane, you have Vendetta on one of his signature picks, you have SSK on one of his signature picks, that exhaust pickup from Zoe just shuts down Glaciok so well, shuts down Jinkai 2 so well as well. It just seemed like without finding early game leads, their monster, they were just without an answer. This comp was just too slow against Alliance.
Yeah, now I'm curious. What will happen to the next games, right? What will be the adjustments coming from Dear Monster?
Before we get into that, I want to point out Vendetta actually did the most damage that game. Raven looked like he was popping off, but this Ranga, 1000 damage more than him, he's the MVP in my books. But yeah, like you said, right, what's the adaptations next game? Well, I think you can't double down so hard on scaling if you're on the side of their monster. Senna, Malphite, and Jax, it just seems a bit too greedy. With a Diana as well, your Renekton is really your only early mid-game option here.
Yeah. And going for early game, going for mid game, going for scaling, what will it be, Dear Monsters? What will it be? I'm excited. I'm prepared to see it. But right now, Omo, it was an exhilarating game number 1, and we are going for a short break though. But of course, don't go away for the viewers watching at home, because when we come back, it's going to be another banger of a game for CE Esports Championship 2021. Welcome back, everyone, to C Esports Championship 2021. We're once again back here for Wild Rift and some Wild Rift gameplay. Omo, how are you doing? What's up? It's game number 2. We've just seen game 1.
Well, I'm doing good because we saw a very exciting game one. It was a bit of a smash coming in from Alliance, but that's what we like to see. I like seeing Storms in Wild Rift. I don't know about you, Infinity.
I love to see it as well. I mean,
There we go.
you see some landslide games. However,
Yeah,
I don't know if you could define that as landslide because when it comes to the early game, it was like an early 3 kills from Dear Monsters.
true. It was a landslide that started a little bit slower, but once it got rolling, once the rocks started tumbling down, it just seemed like their monsters weren't able to find an answer.
You know what? I know why I'm the play-by-play and you're the analyst because you have this more in-depth analysis and explanation to things that are happening in game and what's happening from that game number 1. And right now, speaking of the same thing, Omo, what can we see? A while ago, you stated some scaling champions that may appear for Dear Monsters. Are you
Yeah.
thinking of something here as we jump into draft?
Well, I like the draft that they had. My criticism was just that they had too much scaling going on. Pick and choose. You can't get scaling in every single lane. You have a Renekton, that's fine, it stabilizes you a bit. But if you're going for Jax, Diana, Senna, and Malphite, you're doubling down on that scaling. You have 4 scaling champions, and it's gonna be a while before you can fight. Which is why once Alliance found a lead, it just ran out of control there. Now, Dear Monsters, they are choosing blue for game 2 because they lost game 1. They have side selection here, and that means they will get first pick, and that's what I'm curious about because this will heavily indicate to us what direction their draft will be taking.
Well, we just went in swiftly from the bans.
Mm.
Akali, Riven, Galio, Ziggs, Jarvan, and Garen banned away
Wow.
from both teams with Fiora being locked in immediately.
I like this coming in from CYH. I love the confidence to just come in and first pick Fiora. Of course, it's still flexible between jungle and Baron lane, but the performance that we saw from CYH in the last game was very impressive to me, and I hope we get to see him here on this Fiora. Of course, SSK never want to shy away from the skill matchups, locks in the Camille, and it's gonna be once again trash for CWK.
Oh, but Renekton comes through,
Okay.
so what will be CYH using in his game?
So it should then be a Fiora jungle, it's gonna be a Renekton Baron lane, and it's gonna be a Lucian here for I don't lose. He says no more Senna, I'm not gonna lose like that again, give me the Lucian.
Yeah, and Lucian gives you more space if ever that Alliance wants to go back to Raven the Raven, right? Or Raven the Raven. And they're going
Well,
for
it seems
it.
like they do. Yeah. Is it gonna be locked in though?
That's a question, right? If they're going for it,
Okay.
now there's an opportunity for Dear Monsters to adjust some bit from what they did in game number 1 for their 4th and 5th pick, as we are now going through the bans once again with Corgi removed consistently from game 1 and game 2 for Alliance.
Pretty interesting stuff here. The reason I can think about to rationalize that is that Zinkai 2, he used to be a marksman player back on PC, so they know for sure he's going to be more than competent here on this Corgi, and they just want to remove that. I'm sure they have their reasons for banning that away. We always talk about how they are teams that are familiar with each other, players that are familiar with each other since the PC days. So I can't really fault them for banning that one away. They definitely know something I don't.
And speaking of familiarity, right? Dear Monsters is already so familiar with Vendetta playing that Rengar from that game 1, they have to ban it away. With Kennen banned away though, by the side of Alliance, what will the next ban be from Dear Monsters?
Oh, this is going to be interesting. We'll have to see what the pickup here is going to be, but I do like how targeted the bans are coming in from Dear Monsters. You're removing away 3 Vendetta champions, Jax, Riven, as well as Rengar. You don't want to give Vendetta the champions that he can pop off on. And I like that they're banning away the SSK Akali as well. That's one of his trademarks, and they know that it's going to be a decent answer to Fiora, so just get rid of that. Graves being locked in here is interesting to me because it could be a mid-jungle flex.
Yeah, it's actually quite interesting, right? Because traditionally, what happens is Graves is waiting for that late game. He has that Bloodthirster, he has a Solar Charge Blade. So what will this be with Draven being that early game champion, with Graves being that late game? How could this work out for the side of Alliance?
It's going to be interesting, but I like that it gives them a lot of insurance. The thing is, right now, their team composition is very reliant on their ability to not fall behind. Because if you look at what they're playing, it's a Trash, it's 2 Marksmen, and it's a Camille. Now, the moment they fall behind, the team comp that Dear Monsters have, especially now with this Orianna locked in, is just going to run them down. So they cannot afford to fall behind.
Yeah, and with so much marksman, you have the answer coming in from Dear Monsters, going for the Braum and Oriana, having that safety and having that peel when it comes to fighting up against Raven and Graves in this game number 2. What will the last pick be? It's going to be Diana for Alliance.
Right, we saw the Diana last game from Xingkai 2. It wasn't the most effective. He wasn't able to find angles to come into this team fight. Now, same thing here this game. I feel like Soul does not have the avenues to enter team fights because who's gonna set him up? The way team fights are gonna go is you want to just kite them with what you have so far. But with a Diana, with a Camille, they want to both jump in. You have two marksmen who don't want to jump in. It just seems like there's a bit of desync in the team comp. But with how Alliance played last game, I'm sure they'll be able to execute on it.
Yeah, their mechanics, they will depend on that one. As you stated, it's going to be difficult to come through with that initial setups because who's going to come in? Is it going to be Diana? Is it going to be Camille? Is it going to be Trash? What's going to happen here is the question to date. And I think having this sort of draft that we're seeing right now for game number 2, let us discuss on the winning conditions for both teams here, Omo. What do you think is going to happen for this?
Well, I mean, on the side of the Monsters, it's very simple. Once again, same as last game, they have a lot of scaling. Fiora, Oriana, these are two of the best champions in their roles in the late stages of the game. So the moment they get there, it's going to be looking good for the Monster. The question remains though, can you survive the early onslaught coming in from SSK? And I think a big thing I want to look out for once again is this Camille Renekton matchup in the Baron lane.
Camille Renekton matchup. SSK, CYH rather. Once again, that's shake hands. You know what? I'm gonna pick Camille. You're gonna pick Renekton. We're seeing it in here in game number 2 once again. But right now, we're going for standard a bit. There's no like unconventional 5v1 type of setup or 5-man roam from this first 30 seconds of this matchup. And yeah, what do you see here, Omo?
We might see something in the Baron lane, the Dragon lane.
Yeah, it is the traditional Braum going for that early game, and now CWJ goes in for the flash as well. Flash for flash comes through, and don't loses his Braum, and now he has to go back away. Too much happening in the first 30 seconds.
Yeah, so much happening. When we thought nothing was going to happen, both of these Dragon laners ran into each other, and it looks like the trade will go in favor of Alliance, but I don't lose. He trades back pretty well. He forces them to have to base here.
Yeah, and having that early gold is actually quite big, because you're looking at Draven right now with a Vampire Scepter already, so it's looking difficult.
Yeah, it's not gonna be an easy lane matchup for sure. The Vamp Scepter is completed, means he has more sustain against the Lucian piercing lights in lane. Other than that, it's gonna be not too much of a big difference right now, because I think this Trash Draven matchup already beats the Draven Lucian. So I'm a bit curious why they went for that one. Vendetta just doing a bit of a drive-by, secure some mid priority before Scum Prep spawns, gonna give Alliance a really good timing here.
Yeah, and Soul being alleviated with the pressure of the mid lane minions, he can now roam elsewhere, support Vendetta in potential roams, in potential Risk Cutter, if ever it has been contested. But for now, we're not seeing that happen. It's Grave going solely on that Risk Cutter in bot side of the map, but here on top side, it's a different story.
That one last Ketaminian shot plus the Ignite takes down CYH and solo bolo here from SSK. And part of why this matchup is so fun to me is back in the PC days, SSK used to play together with CYH. CYH was his jungler for multiple years across multiple teams, and now they're facing off as opponents in the Baron lane here. SSK proving that, you know, experience does count for something, and he's gonna be the one winning out this matchup.
And Vendetta is here as well. He wants to party, but Dear Monster is playing very safe. He doesn't really want to go for that all-in.
Yeah, doesn't want to go for the all-in. They weren't able to find the dive. In fact, their comp makes it so hard to dive. Trash plus Graves is going to be a duo that's extremely hard to dive towers with. So they will just back away here. Let the pressure continue. You don't have to force anything if you're on the side of Alliance. Why? Because you're already winning all your lanes naturally. So just play it standard, wait for dragon spawns, take a team fight, and you should be in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, they already have the lead. Don't need to do anything. You just need to sustain, just pressure in. Right, that's all that matters. But look at here in the Baron lane. We're looking at a different story on top side of the map. It's SSK now looking for a prey from Dear Monsters. He will live though with that ultimate, locking down another double kill once again. The same thing happened from game 1.
The fights don't stop though. Alright, they stopped. I jinxed it.
You jinxed it.
Here we go.
Powder to jinx. But now Vendetta though, flashing in. The ladder is there for safety. Now the Moonfall with a flash in. Gets another for Alliance.
So close there to taking down one more kill. CYH though, CWJ though doesn't land the hook, and I think that should finally be it.
Glaciok and Jinkaitu is here to just defend. So no tower for his blood as of yet.
Yeah. No tower for his blood. A lot of action has been going on, so let's take a breather. Let's think about what happened in the last minute or so. For me, the first thing is, can both of these junglers just stop ganking Baron lane? It's not gone well in either of these teams in both of these games.
Yeah. And exactly the same thing, right? Blue side?
Yeah.
No. They're going on top side, but it doesn't matter. You're just
it really does.
consistently.
Well, it happens. It is what it is. And this time around, with SSK having a 3-0 start, I think it's going to be a rough situation for CYH to be in. 1,000 gold behind already on the Renekton. If you get outscaled by this Camille and the Camille has Triforce, I don't really know what you're going to do right now. Now, Rift Herald's going to get started by the Monster here in Infinity. This might be a bad situation for them.
Yeah, and Raven is not here to support, so if ever, they're fighting this 4v5. And I think it's a good call to not go for the engage.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're just gonna go and trade for turrets right now. So you have the Rift Herald. What does that net you? It nets you a turret. But we already got a turret for Raven. We're gonna give you the Rift Herald. You just wasted your time. We're just gonna get away here.
And it's a solo turret. But here,
Nice
Alliance, top side, gets a kill onto Braum. They're going in too aggressively, and they get punished for that.
Yeah, that's a really nice dodge there from SSK. I think that was a bit of a misplay from Smurf. He walks too close to the Camille, giving her a target to Hextech Ultimatum to dodge his fissure. If he doesn't walk closer, if he just throws it from a longer range, Camille won't be able to dodge and they might get the kill.
Now, I'm glad you mentioned, I want to say something, because Draven went in for that solo turret a while ago in bot lane.
Yeah.
So, much more
Same
gold
as game
than
one.
we expected. Yeah.
Yes. Same scenario coming out once again, and they're trying to make a play onto SSK, but we talked about this. We expected Fiora to be the carry here, but with Camille having such a massive gold lead, that's not really going to happen.
Yeah, big
That
flank,
comes
big
in.
flank. Now it's going to be Trash coming through, initiates the fight. That's going to be the kill. 1-for-1 though from both sides of the team, and they're going consistently to fight this down, but 2v1 will not be enough for the Graves to live, and that will in turn, Deer Monsters taking the lead. From that
We see a bit of a disconnect there, Infinity. Alliance are saying we want to back off, but Banana wants to keep going. Vendetta wants to keep going. He dives in while all his teammates back off, and he will just get taken down, Trader back on. But still, massive win here for Alliance.
Yeah. Only a lead in that team fight, but still, Alliance is still on the driver's seat. Having that 4K goal lead at 6 minutes into the matchup with Mountain Dragon alive, they could have that upper advantage on just getting through and through in 3 objectives for Alliance.
Yeah, and the Alliance right now, they're gonna be able to pick up the Dragon. They don't have the Rift Herald. I think that's the big condition. Wait, hold on a second. Was it used already? Where was it used?
When
I
they
missed
went
out on
in,
that.
when Braum died on top side, right? They were going for the aggressive play. They used up the Rift Herald, then immediately got lost. One charge.
Right. No wonder that HP of the turret is so low right now. It was charged by the Rift Herald, but SSK, really, whoever goes to his lane, he's gonna get hookshotted on and chunked out. It's not a good situation to be in.
Yeah, definitely not a good situation. And right now, everyone comes back to standard, right? You have top lane and top lane, you have bot lane and bot lane.
Well, it's not so standard because look at the lane assignments right now. Diana is there as well. This is a classic.
Yeah, it's a 2v1. However, you know what? CUIH is here on bot side as well, so we just got standard just for a little bit.
Yeah.
But not anymore.
Yeah. Not anymore. And I love that they're funneling bump to Vendetta in mid as well. Nice hook lance.
Raven to Raven actually gets a kill. Now Trash still going through and through on this fight. Jinkai2 is very low on HP. Raven, no damage up against the Braum. Glacial Fissure to the late. Now CC gets knocked up. Can you leave through this?
No.
I don't think so.
Nowhere to run. Too gritty here, but Glacial gets traded on.
Ooh. And now with the ultimate to finish that up. And Soul still lives from that.
Soul lives from that, and that's going to be mid lane turret. That's going to be top lane tier 2 turret. Alliance once again, same story as in game 1. They lose the turrets. They lose the kills rather, but it doesn't matter because they are trading turrets this entire time. 6,000 goal lead almost for them right now, and they're just running away with this game yet again, Infinity.
Yeah, and look at the state of the map though. When it comes to turret objectives, what do you see here, Omo?
Well, I see Alliance taking every outer turret, chunking tier 2 inners, and it just seems like they're gonna split push the game to victory.
Yes, exactly, right? The mid lane turret is gone for their monsters. You're
Yeah.
taking turrets and turrets, so that means map control for Alliance. And I
Map
think
control.
that is exactly what they want, specifically here in the early game.
Yeah, exactly, right. And the big thing is, if you have Camille, if you have Diana, these champions who can split push extremely well, once you get map control, they can really take over a game.
And they're going through that. Let's see if it happens once again as Raven the
Oh!
Draven. Going very aggressive. The shockwave will not connect. That's an easy out for Draven.
Oh man. Yeah, that's a very easy out for Draven here, and I love how confidently he was playing. You might say it was a bit risky, but he dodges out on Shockwave, gets Lantern out, and all of this time, Alliance are still getting neutral objectives. Rift Herald was picked up, tier 2 turret was chunked even more there by Shinsekai, and they're just gonna use this lead, they're gonna play aggressively, they're gonna play up in the face, and they're just gonna try to run away with it.
Man, this is the power of CWG. This is the power of Thresh. But speaking of power, you have Glaciok, so let's see if the power is enough to bring down Soul,
no.
because Raven the Draven is here to support. And now they're going to V1. Glaciok has to go back away. Flash over the wall to safety. He has to go back, he has to run. But can he hide though? Now that's the question.
Seems like that's not gonna be the case here. Well, Fiora is very mobile. He's trying to go for a juke right now, but he mistimes it. He gets caught out. That's gonna be it.
Yeah. I guess he can't hide. He can't run as well.
You gone? Yeah.
He just can't delay.
It was a nice idea. He was trying to be a bit cheeky. He was trying to hide in the wolf pit, wait for them to walk out, and then juke them around. But he mistimed it, so he gets caught out.
Yeah, and I was expecting go for the recall onto the wolf pit. Will Alliance check it out? But he went out away from himself, and as you said it, tried to juke it. But now 25 seconds on the clock. Infernal Dragon.
Yeah, Infernal Dragon's gonna come up in a couple of seconds right now, and this is gonna be a big one because Alliance, they definitely want to fight. But if you look at the items from their monsters, I don't think they're capable of taking a team fight right now. They're one item down in every single role. Boots and Chant all completed for Alliance as well. They are decked out. They're ready to go. Rod of the Ages, Death Cap, Bloodthirster, Solari Charge Blades. They have everything in their inventory. And their monsters, it looks like they want to fight, but I don't think they can.
Yeah, huge disparity when it comes to the items. Right now, for Alliance having that lead, but their monsters wants to take it. Infernal Dragon is just too much to give for free.
Oh, man.
Smurf is too low though to peel down. CWJ flashes over the wall. That's huge. Ultimate wasted already for your monsters. Stasis as well for Diana, and now he's back, and now SSK is here to come in, and now they move one by one as they dismantled your monster.
The approach to that team fight was perfect from Alliance. Execution leaves a bit to be desired there, but X setup and the idea towards approaching the fight was just 10-10 for me. Now CWJ chasing down I Don't Lose. Another one of those grudge matches. These players have a lot of history, but he's just gonna put the Ignite down, give that kill over the SSK, and really, what can you say, right? It's just dominance from Alliance, but I want to talk about that team fight. There was just brilliant stuff from them. They came in from every single angle, used the Draven ultimate, used the Graves ultimate to get poke damage down before the fight starts. The Braum shield wasn't quick enough to block it, so everyone on the side of their monster was chunked out before the fight began. Now, so he came in from the flanks as well. If only he was able to find a better out, that would have just been destruction for the side of their monster. Might even have been the game over right there and then. But Alliance still take a huge win, break open mid lane inhibitor, and that's gonna be, once again, 12,000 gold lead in 12 minutes.
Yeah, it's just that tanks are not tanks up against fed Raven the Draven, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Bloodthirster, i.e. Solari Charge Blade, so I guess you can't be a tank up against that.
Yeah, really, what can you do up against that is the big question right now, right? Same thing as last game, they need to hit their combos on him, but they have less combos this game. They only have the Orianna Shockwave, and if you look at the team combo of Lions, they have 4 damage threats this game. Last game they had 2.5 maybe, this game they have 4. Camille, Diana, Graves, even if you kill Raven, what can you do to the rest of them?
Yeah. I guess, I don't know. It's hard to tell on what they can
Die
do.
to them, probably.
Yeah, I mean, that's the worst case scenario picture that we can paint here for this specific game. With a
Look at this
Baron up
though.
already, this might be the end gaming objective for
Oh
Alliance.
no. Infinity, they're monsters. They're trying to set up a death push. They expected Alliance to face check them before doing Baron in an attempt to get vision. But Alliance, they don't care. They just go for the Baron and they pick
Oh,
it up.
they're still waiting.
Oh, it might
Oh.
work out. Nope.
Maybe.
So much patience. But for
Wait.
what? Oh,
Wait.
if the Scryer, the Scryer does hit them. Oh no, that's just disappointing, isn't it?
Yeah, report Scryer's Bloom.
Yeah. MVP Scryer Bloom right there. Just spots out their monster after all their efforts to death rush that bush. Not gonna work out. That's just gonna be Alliance with the Baron up minions, with the super minions in the mid lane. They're just gonna try to close out the game once again in 13 minutes.
Yeah, and the only one that can clear wave will be Lucian and Orianna, but it's going to be very hard, especially with that range, because Alliance can just burst him down, especially with SSK having ultimate.
Ah, but look at this Alliance. They did not set up their waves properly, which means bot lane is not available for them to push. They have to go back. They have to catch the wave. And I don't know if you noticed what CYH did right there. It was a little bit cheeky. He dashed forward to ignite Raven to try to stop his recall. But you know why it didn't work? Bloodthirster shield.
Yo, Bloodthirster, Raven. How can we stop this? How can we stop Raven?
Ban it, maybe.
Well, we'll see. We'll see about that if it's going to be banned in the next game. But for now, it's going to be Alliance going for some pressure here. CWJ starting this fight. That's going to be a flash for CYH going into this one as Graves will die. And this will give them the advantage when it comes to numbers in that specific fight. But SSK is here to finish this game already. It's a 2v1 with Jinkai 2 actually killing down Raven the Raven. And now that's going to be ace for SSK.
Completely easier from the side of Alliance. They take fights on both sides of the map. They fight both sides of the map. And their monsters, once again, they lasted 2 more this time around. Now this is the best of 5 Infinity Alliance. They take game 2 in dominating fashion yet again. And the monsters put up a fight here, try to maybe bring us towards the reverse sweep. Or is this just gonna be Alliance with a clean trio?
I don't know. I mean, that's the interesting part, right? Can their adjustments change the history, change maybe their destiny? Well, not exactly destiny, but the current running situation here in C Esports Championship 2021. But currently, as you stated, it's already match point here, Omo.
Yeah, it's match point, and I think Alliance, they needed to come into this. They needed to put on a statement win because they did lose a game in round robin group stage. It should not be a case when you're a team as with the Pet Alliance, with the His Alliance, and they come into the grand finals. They are statement wins here, and I think that's exactly what they need to do. Now, with that in mind, I think we're going to toss it to a quick break, and we're going to come back for Game 3. Match point for Alliance here in the C Esports Championships.
Welcome back to game number 3, C Esports Championship 2021. I'm Infinity once again. We're back with Omo in the caster's desk. Now it's match point.
Yeah, it is match point. Alliance, they've come in these last 2 games strong. They've come in hot, and they've proven that their loss in group stages was just a fluke, in my opinion. I think they really needed to come in with something, with a statement win, and I think they've done just that here in these 2 games.
Yeah. A lot of adjustments to be made if they want to bring this into a reversed win. However,
Yeah.
C Esports Championship 2021 will not be possible without our main organizer, Singapore Esports Association, official hydration sponsor 100 Plus, supporting partner Prism Plus, a part of Jeff Festival of this event, and powered by Rizzo as well.
Yeah, a lot of these guys have been helping out for a very long time, especially 100 Plus. They've been supporting Wild Rift in the scene here for a very long time, so big shout outs to them. Official hydration sponsor. I have a case of 100 Plus outside right now that I take every time I go out to work out. Staying hydrated regulates your mood, so you can stay in focus for your games. Up your hydration game with 100 Plus now. We are ready with the draft though, so we're gonna hop right into that one here. Possibly the last game of the C Esports Championships here, Infinity.
Yeah, our thirst here will be quenched with this draft.
Yeah.
Of game number 3. It's a potential match point. It's a potential finisher of this series. However, as we've stated, it's already in the draft. We are speeding once again as Akali Fiora banned away for the side of Dear Monsters and Lions bans away Garen and Jarvan 4.
Yeah, I do want to point out this Jarvan ban, it's been repeated every single game. I think the Garen ban has been as well. And what I do like from the side of Alliance is that they're recognizing the style that CYH wants to play. He wants to play a tank. He doesn't want to fight Shinsekai. He wants to stabilize the lane and come engage team fights. So they're removing 2 of the best champions at doing that. Pretty curious though from Alliance's end to ban away that trash when WJ has been popping off on it. But this is gonna be a Galio first pick, and I like that one, banning away to Camille. A little bit of adaptations here from the side of Dear Monsters. Let's see if this will be enough.
Yeah, but Rengar is open though for Alliance to
Rengar
pick
is
up
open.
once again. Graven is open once again as well. But will they pick this up without trash? I don't know.
This is a bit interesting here to me, because why are you banning the trash away if you're going for an early pick Blitzcrank? Don't you want to bait them into picking trash and then counter pick it with Blitzcrank? A little bit curious here from the side of Alliance. They might not lock it in yet, so don't take my words to heart. There we go. I like this duo if they lock it in. Jax, Jace, a very dominant one. You have Jace to maintain map control on the top side of the map, and Jax, it gives him a lot of freedom to farm up, to control objectives in that quadrant.
Very, very strong. Right,
Yeah.
CWJ, if they lock it in onto
Okay,
Jace,
never mind.
but Varus instead.
Varus instead, can't fault them for that one. It's much safer pick at this stage of the game, and it's much more dominant one. I've been very vocal about saying that Varus is the best ADC. If you don't have something that can fight Varus, he can be extremely lane dominant, and we'll see what the answer from the side of Dear Monsters is to this Varus.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, right? Varus is, I think, an underrated champion, but if you look at his potential when it comes to that mid game, if he has this Duskblade, if he has a Yumu's Ghostblade, that Manamune, his damage is going to hurt even before a fight has occurred because of poking damage. So we'll see. The answer for Dear Monsters though will be Lucian.
Yeah. So Lucian signals that you want to fight fire with fire here. Varus is going to try to play from range. He's going to try to poke you. Picking Lucian says that every time he tries to poke me, I'm going to dash into his face and try to chunk him out. But with this, okay, I thought they were going to go for the brand. I'm getting bamboozled this whole game. Orianna pickup comes true. I like that one. You buff the Jax a lot, and you give your team a lot of scaling potential.
We'll see. And I think it's going to be interesting as well. What do you think about this Pantheon pick here for Dear Monsters?
Well, I like that they're no longer picking carries in the jungle, because that clearly has not been working out. So going for a Pantheon gives your teammates more potential to carry here. You pick the utility, you pick the global, you give your teammates a lot more freedom to do their thing, and I think it's a good adaptation here from the side of Dear Monsters.
I love it. Some adaptations, some changes in the draft for Dear Monsters. And the question is this going to be enough to bring down Alliance for this next steps? To make a reverse sweep for the series?
It's a tall task for sure. It's a big ask for the side of Dear Monsters to even start a reverse sweep here in game one, because I think the draft from Alliance right now is the best draft they've picked so far this entire series. In the last two games, they had a lot of potential to flex their mechanical muscles, Draven, Rengar, but this time around they are picking the best champions in the meta. They have everything. If they just pick a defensive support here, okay, right now, if you lock a Braum, it's game over. Or even a Leona could work.
You know what? I'm having some tech difficulties. I don't know what's happening in the draft, so I will leave it up to you, Omo. What's going on here?
So we do see coming out from the side of Alliance a lot of range power, a lot of poke, a lot of split push even in the form of the Jax. And while the Jax is split pushing, you have a lot of wave clear. It's just a very strong comp overall. I don't quite like the brand here, but it is a CWJ special. It's something that he plays a lot of. And with the Varus picked up as well, that's going to be a massive amount of long range poke damage coming in from the side of Alliance. Now on the other hand, what do Dear Monsters want to do? They want to engage you, they want to all-in you, they want to dive on top of your poke champs, and we'll see if they're able to do that. I want to point out very quickly though, it's gonna be a Lucian top here for CYH against SSK's Jace.
Magic. You know what? I refreshed the screen and then immediately we're done with the draft. A while ago, it was just 3 picks for both sides, but I like how you mentioned about this a while ago, right? The breakdown of each draft from Alliance and also Dear Monsters. And I'm looking at that Cyrocom when it comes to the bot lane. What will happen here up against Varus and Brand in that lane?
It's not a fun 2v2. They outrange you a ton, and they're just gonna keep chucking spells at you, just poking you out without Xayah being able to walk into range to really find her feathers onto anybody. The answer really needs to be Glacius needs to hard camp this lane matchup. He needs to sit down in the bot lane and permanently pressure this Brand lane.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's a double-edged sword, even Alliance, for Alliance's draft, right? As you've stated, it's one of the best drafts that they have placed out thus far, and it's actually quite strong. But
yeah,
I'm looking at it in the perspective of having so much damage but lacking when it comes to peeling, right? Because they only have Jax and they only have Jace. So
exactly
it's a double-edged sword.
It really is, and that's a great point, Infinity. That's why I said I would have liked to see them pick up a Braum, pick up a Leona. Even just a Leona is fine, because at least you have a tank to face check bushes for you. Now, same situation as last game. If Lions get a lead, they're gonna permanently zone you away. Ori Ball, Brand Burst, Jace poke, Ferris poke. You can never walk within a single screen of them. But the thing is, if they start falling behind, if your poke comp falls behind, you have no tanks to play with, then Dear Monsters can really take over the game, because they will just one-shot you.
Yeah, and when we're looking at that late game, right? If ever everything comes through evenly for both teams, you have 2 semi-global ultimates from Dear Monsters, and you have a lot of AoE CCs that can affect that backlines from Alliance.
Oh man, and this is exactly what we talked about. Dear Monsters bot lane, they have to jump on top of you, but if they don't one-shot you, if they don't burn important summoners, they're just gonna get traded back on. In the mid lane though, Gank is gonna come in on Soul, he has no flash.
Glacius with a flash and Jinka too went in as well.
Man.
That will be the first blood for Dear Monsters.
My question right now is, how did Soul have to burn flash level 1 against Galio? My theory is because they shared EXP, Galio hit level 2 first, and he burned Soul's flash by himself. But that should never be the case.
Yeah, unfortunate situation,
aggressive.
but Vendetta is actually looking for that trade here on this one, but they have taunted immediately after the flash.
Yeah, he tries to go a bit too aggressive. His team was not in position to back him up. He was a bit too deep. Tries to punish the flashless Pantheon, but he wasn't able to do so. But look at this, the bullying coming in from this Brand, from this Varus. They're gonna get ganked.
Glacius is here, 300, and CWJ gets pincered, and now that will be another double for Dear Monsters.
And it's a disaster here, Infinity. We talked about how Alliance cannot afford to fall behind. Guess what happened? They fell behind. The ganks come true towards the bottom lane. It all starts from Soul burning flash in mid lane. It snowballs a kill into the jungle, a mistake in the jungle, a mistake in the bottom lane, and all of a sudden Alliance, for the first time this series, they are 2,000 gold behind.
Yeah, very first time, very unusual, because even in game 1, even if Dear Monsters got that triple kill in that early game, the gold was still even. And now this is
Yes.
a totally different situation wherein in the early game, Alliance is falling behind so gravely.
Yeah, and you gotta keep in mind as well, the Pantheon is closing in on level 5, the Galio has his ultimate available. All they need to do is chuck all their globals down at the bottom lane, and Raven and CWJ, they're not gonna be able to put any pressure. Anytime they push up mid wave and Galio goes missing, Pantheon goes missing, they just have to play safe. So all the pressure onto Xayah and Rakan has been alleviated.
I'm glad that you mentioned about it because I want to say the same thing because Varus Brand doesn't really have an escape route. They only have
They
flash.
don't, yeah.
When they don't have
And
flash,
they don't have the flash, right? It's down.
die.
They are in trouble. Here we go!
yeah. Pantheon goes in with a Starfall, connects through with a stun as well, and Varus, this is what we're saying. They don't have an escape route, and Dear Monsters got another secured kill.
Now, my only criticism with that play, it's great from the side of Dear Monsters, but I think it could have been a bit better if they just held the play for 5-10 seconds more before going for it. Solo Bolo here, CYH gets taken down yet again, and this is likely going to be a tower trade right now because Alliance, they have the Jax available here if he wants to hit the turret. Okay, not going to be the case. But back to my original point, if they held that combo a bit longer, if they delayed the respawn of Raven by maybe 10 seconds, 15 seconds, they would have gotten a free setup on the Dragon. Now they won't have Pantheon out for that.
Yeah. The only thing that they will depend on for their monsters is going to be that Galio, but who will be that initiator? More or less, it's going to be Smurf.
Yeah, it has to be Smurf. The good news is he has flash available. So if he's able to find the angles, we talked about this. No tank, no front line, no peel for Alliance. So if he gets onto the back line, gets any two members of their carries, it's going to be enough to set up for a game-winning fight with Dear Monsters. Once again, Rift Herald gets started and they're going in.
And here we go, exactly as you stated, it's going to be Smurf going for the initial setup, but will miss. And that semi-global ultimate from Galio will be gone as well. Now Glacier comes through once again to try and counter and re-engage on this fight. That shockwave was phenomenal from Soul. And now we have Galio going in for the counter attack, goes for the taunt, and that will be a 1-for-1, making it a 2-for-1 as Alliance brings down another.
Oh, it's a disaster right now. And SSK, he misses his first shock blast, but he hits the second, picks up the kill onto the Xayah, and that was just an amazing collapse here. This is the good side of Alliance's team comp. If you jump into them and you botch your engage, like we saw Dear Monsters do right there, they're just gonna turn right back around and burn you alive, but Pantheon's coming in.
It's going to be the Starfall, stuns up under the turret, and Varus cannot escape the inevitable, and he dies from that.
Gold lead is closing in a little bit though. It's about 1,000 gold right now, but Rift Herald, I think this might just get picked up for Dear Monsters. Alliance, they're not going to let it go without a fight though.
Yeah, Vendetta is here.
Huge stun.
3-man stun. And now SSK jumps in, but not enough defensive capacity for Vendetta to live.
And Infinity, this is just Jace's burst at the stage of the game. This is just Pantheon's burst at the stage of the game. Both teams have so much damage. If they hit their spells, they're gonna be one-shotting you. Vendetta jumps in, hits a huge stun, but no follow-up, and the burst from Pantheon just one-shots him. But because Shinsekai does so much damage on this Jace right now, Dear Monsters, they weren't able to find anything with it. All of these fights, they just keep repeating. Both of these teams, they just keep fighting, but no objectives have been taken just yet.
Yeah, it's 5 minutes, 6 minutes into the matchup, 2 minutes already. The Dragon and Rift Herald is already so lonely. They need someone to accompany them in this matchup. And now SSK will try that, but he goes in under a death trap for Dear Monsters, and he will die. Now Vendetta is trying to live. That ultimate will delay him being alive, but now he falls down, and Dear Monsters secures 2.
And this is what I want to see, Infinity. Dear Monsters finally picking up a team comp with initiative, with the ability to take fights in the early mid stages of the game, and damn do they look good doing it.
Now it's going to be Smurf once again with that semi-global ultimate. Hero's entrance from that Galio, and now that taunt was amazing. Now Oriana will die. It's Soul traded for Glacier.
Traded for Glaciers, and this is gonna be a nice culling. This might be something big. Nope, not quite. Not enough damage right now. Not enough items right now for CYH. You know what, Infinity? All the 3-letter names are starting to throw me off. SSK, CYH, CWJ. I can't keep up with this.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I don't know as well.
We can't tell them apart, but it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. We'll just call them by their champion names. That works too. Rift Herald goes over to CWJ though. SSK might get a turret by himself right now. Not quite.
And I think going back to what you stated a while ago, right? Talking about Lucian lacking on damage, because you have to look at his items right now. He did not prioritize crit, he went for BRK.
Oh, Shizuka doesn't get stat though.
Ooh. Now
He gets
Pantheon
out!
goes in for the response, but SSK, he's running, he's alive. Glacius goes for the spear and he secures it.
Glacius has been doing so well on this Pantheon. He's been sniping so many kills with his spears. It's a much better look for him than when he was trying to play these scaling carries. And Dear Monsters, I like how they're looking in this game. All of a sudden, the goal lead is evened out, but it's still a much better showing from Dear Monsters as Dragon gets knocked out.
It's 8 minutes into the matchup almost. 8 minutes into the game.
First Dragon, 8 minutes in.
It's just now for the Dragon.
This has definitely been the slowest game we've seen so far, and a large part of that is because of how well Dear Monsters is playing in this one compared to the last 2 games. Now, Chains of Corruption whiffs from Raven there, and that will just be the end of that. But this time around, Alliance, they have the scaling.
Yeah, and I'll fight you to it. You know what? They're even. Demon Monsters rather had that huge lead when it comes to their game, but still, looking at that gold, Alliance is doing the same thing that they did in game number 1. Get all the early lead that you want. We're going for that gold even in this matchup.
And they've got the lead. The Rift Herald takes down mid turret, and that is the lead right there for Alliance. The first time in this game. It's gonna be rough right now because this is their timing window. This is their power spike. The dive comes in though.
Here we go, but Starfall jumps through. That's the hero.
Very ambitious.
But good flash coming from Vendetta to go away and disengage, and Alliance will get their third turret in this game.
That was just a big misplay. I like the idea there, but it just doesn't make sense. Okay, hold that thought though. The fight's continuing. Yeah, this is just... I don't know.
It's chaotic. It's chaotic. As you stated time and time again, this is a disaster for both teams. But right now, Glacial gets that kill from Daruyan with that spear. But look at the flank. It's going to be SSK and Raven, 2 lethality champions. Can their lethality be enough to defeat the Scream Man coming in from Dear Monsters? That Feather Storm already used up. He's still going to be alive. And CWJ goes down. Another one may come through. And Dear Monsters obliterates Alliance.
Okay, and that was just a comedy of errors there from both teams. Let's start right off from the engage. Dear Monsters, they go in for the Pantheon dive. They have the Galio follow-up, but because of the gate coming through from Jace, because the engage attempt was so fast, the members of Alliance were just able to run out of that. Next time around, Dear Monsters, if you want to go for that play, you need your Rakan in position to follow up, to tie them up until the Galio's heroic entrance completes. And then after that, what happens? Alliance, they say, you know what? With your engage, we're gonna mechanics check you. We're gonna skill check you. Even though we're low, we're gonna take that fight. And they get rightfully punished for it. Dear Monsters take back the gold lead. Well, I say take back the gold lead. It's just a couple hundred gold, and they tie up the gold lead, rather.
Yeah, and this is so interesting in this game, right? We talk about all the win conditions. We talked about all the advantages in this draft, in this game.
Yeah.
Supposedly, if Alliance loses their early game, they don't have a chance to stand up against your monsters because they have so much peel to fight up against this. But right now, it's looking so much different, and I don't know what's going to happen next.
It's looking like a much better game for Dear Monsters, but like we have been talking about, right? Scaling is the name of the game for Alliance. Because they've gotten the first Dragon, because they've gotten the Rift Herald, the timer's not that bad. But you see what happens to their team composition when they can't get a lead, when they can't get control of the objectives first. They can never walk in. They are just forced to check with spells. Jace, Ori, well, that's a misclick. Jace, Ori, Varus, they're all checking with spells, and Vendetta gets picked off.
So much damage from SSK, and now Raven as well, but look at Smurf, the champion that we keep on talking about. Rakan should initiate, and they did, and Vendetta and CWJ instant double kill for Dear Monsters.
A huge engage there from Smurf and Zinkai too, but it's not enough. The turnaround on that team fight, the poke, they managed to burn some flashes. SSK and Soul burn their flashes, and that's good. But still, they need to start getting some more significant wins. They need to start getting some objectives for themselves.
Yeah. And I think it's safe to say that this is the closest game that we've seen in this series, in this finals for now, here in the Singapore Qualifiers. No one is having a huge goal lead. Only a couple of hundred, and even then, lesser than that.
Yeah, lesser than that indeed. And I think this brand pick, I have been a bit critical of it because it doesn't give you the protection that your carries need. Well, what's he doing right now? He's burning them alive because he is the carry. He's become the carry.
Yeah. I guess we're going to see another fight occur here in the Dragon's Pit as the star falls down with the stun to follow through, and Soul is very, very low, and he will die, and SSK to follow through. CWJ is already at 1 HP, and he follows that death, but Vendetta into the backside goes for the flank, huge kills. Now it's a 3-4-3.
Now it's a 3-3. Vendetta's the last one standing. He has the stun, but he's rooted up, nowhere to go. He's trying to escape, but I don't think he has anywhere to run. Ignite will just take him down at the end of that one. And once again, huge team fight for Dear Monsters, because why? Alliance can never walk into the objectives.
Oh, and Jinkai too. Only zoning away to Varus. They cannot do anything, and Raven has to go back to the fountain.
Raven backs away, and this is gonna be Dear Monsters once again picking up 1,000 or so gold lead here. It's gonna be Cyrilda's grudge picked up from the side of Glaciox, from this Pantheon. It's gonna keep him relevant into the later stages of the game, because now he has a bunch of armor penetration, and he has some more utility to offer here in the form of his slows. I know my friend Gamenism is a big fan of that item, and I think he'll be very stoked to see it picked up by this Pantheon here. What I do want to point out though is flashes are back up from the side of Alliance. Soul, SSK, Cyrilda's grudge in his own pocket as well, will have their flashes available for the next fight, and that's gonna be pivotal to running away from the team comp of Dear Monsters.
Yeah, and he has his ultimate as well, so another utility that he can use into the next team fight to come. And as you stated, there's a lot of penetration on this one, on this Pantheon to be specific. From the passive on the ultimate, from his items building up with a Black Cleaver, with the Cyrilda's grudge, it's going to be so much CCs from this champion alone. And now, when it comes to the next team fight, paint me a picture once again here, Omo. What will potentially happen on this one?
Plan stays the same. Dear Monsters, they need to dive into Alliance, who are desperately trying, like you see, jostling for mid-priority, jostling for control, because they know they can never walk into the river once Dear Monsters have done their setup. So they need to control, they need to poke, and Shinsekai, he's doing a great job of that. Raven, he's doing a great job of that. The Xayah does so much damage once the team fight starts, but Alliance's goal is to never allow him to be healthy for the team fights.
Yeah, just the HP advantage coming in from Alliance because of those pokes that is so obnoxious from Dear Monsters. And even though I don't lose, it's just swiftly running around, going around, dancing. From that, he keeps on getting shotted up by Raven and SSK's poking skills.
Yeah, it's just so difficult right now. They need to find and engage. And Zinkai has not moved, but they're going for the dive.
Now Starfall comes through. That's the stun. That's the ultimate from the Galio. Huge ultimates from all members from Dear Monsters. And under the turret, they fight. And Alliance will still stay alive over SSK and Vendetta. And now let's looking here at Vendetta for the 2v1. But he cannot live long. As you have Xayah, you have Rakan. The lovers duo is greater than a solo one.
Yeah, Vendetta dives into the backline there alone. That was a great engage again from Dear Monsters, but it doesn't work out. They dive a bit too deep, and it will just be a 2-for-2 trade. Both of these teams, no one finding significant leads right now, significant advantages. The game is basically in a stalemate. It's so close right now.
Now, with those trades, with those kills, with everything that happened, it's now Dear Monsters getting a 1.2k gold lead. So not anymore 100 gold lead that we're talking about, but still, talking about this gold is not really that significant because it's not too much, considering that we're in 16 minutes into the matchup.
And look at this, I don't lose. He is decked out on the Xayah right now. 4 full completed items. He's going to be doing a bunch of DPS. He just needs to be aware of Vendetta on this Jax. And I think he has enough protection to be kept safe from him. And he's not even going to die because he has Guardian's Angel.
Good stun coming from Glaciox. And he just stepped in a bit too far for Soul. Now let's look at Pantheon.
Dive into a
die though. Raven going in for that piercing arrow, and the GA is going to be popped instantly for I don't lose.
No one blocked that, and the GA gets popped, and that's exactly what happens. That's why the brand is good here. I would have rather they had some protection to keep Soul safe, but even if Soul drops, your mid laner, your AP carry then becomes the brand.
And if Alliance gets the Infernal Elder Dragon, so much damage will come through for their side. Now Dear Monsters has to go for the engage, and now this is it. Smurf will be there, Galio will be there, but Alliance gets the Infernal Elder Dragon. 12% increased bonus damage, and this is what your monsters should be fearful of, and they will get aced by Alliance.
As if Alliance needed any more damage, they get the extra damage from the Inferno Elder Dragon, they get the team fight win. That was just extremely well coordinated there. Raven, Shinsekai, and CWJ, the 3 members remaining from the previous Alliance roster, they stay alive, they take the team fight win, TPs come in from the spot, and I think they want to go for the Nexus here, Infinity.
They want to end. This is it. Glacius will be the sole survivor to
Can't do anything.
The Nexus. Starfall will be there.
What's the end?
Will it be enough? At 700 HP for the Nexus. 30, and Alliance will bring this home with a sweep. And this is GG for the finals here at CE Esports Championship Singapore Qualifier.
And once again, Alliance, they change it up. They go for a different tempo right now. Instead of skill checking you, instead of mechanics checking you, they play a poke comp. They draft no protection for the poke comp. They have a Jax who want to dive in despite being in a poke comp. And still, they make it work through superior teamfight execution.
It just amazes me, Omo. Right? We've been so critical on this draft from Alliance having no peel, but they made it work.
Yeah, no peel, but I still like that team comp, right? My criticism was with the brand, but Alliance still managed to make it work because even if they lose 1 member, they lose 2 members, they have so much more damage, so much more poke, and then once again, Shinsekai on one of his classic trademark picks in this Jace, ever since the PC days, he makes it work. 31,000 damage, Vendetta on this Jax, not doing too well because why? We talked about it, desync in the team composition here, but still Alliance, they come out on top. It was a very valiant effort from Dear Monsters, but not enough in the end.
Yeah, and I think also one of the reasons why Vendetta was not able to just come through is because also you have Xayah, right? You just have the root, which really just disables just the distance that Vendetta can cover. But overall, a close match from both teams here at game number 3, but Alliance
look at the
bringing
goal.
it home.
Alliance bringing it home, but Dear Monster definitely putting on a fight throughout the game. The gold has been swinging. It's been a roller coaster, up, down, up, down. Unfortunately, Alliance, they close this one out in a trio, so Dear Monsters, they put on a good showing, but it's not enough here. And I do believe with that win, that means that Alliance will go on to represent Singapore at the CE Esports Championship 2021 against all the other top teams from the other C regions, such as the Philippines, Indonesia, Thailand, Vietnam, Laos, Myanmar. We have a bunch of countries coming in to represent, a bunch of regions coming in to represent themselves, and Alliance will be the Singaporean representatives here. I'm quite curious to see what they can do against the best teams of the regions.
Yeah, it will be one of the best scenes right now for League of Legends Wild Rift, that they will be fighting for 46,600 US dollars, which is actually quite a huge amount.
It definitely is. The 600 at the end just makes it that much sweeter. And of course, this has all been made possible thanks to our main organizers, SGEA, official hydration partner, 100+, supporting partners, Prism, a part of Jeff Festival, and of course, powered by Rizzo. It's an amazing tournament. It's a bunch of fun. And thank you guys for organizing this. Now we get to see what Alliance can do against the best teams in the region.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see what that will occur for CE Esports Championship in the International Stadium. Once again, my name's Infinity, and together with me is Omo. Omo, any last words for the viewers watching at home and for our Singapore representatives here at CE Esports Championship?
Well, for the viewers at home, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys support Alliance and enjoy the rest of the tournament when we see the best regional teams compete. To the players, to Alliance, you know, you guys better not lose this like you lost Horizon Cup, like you lost C Champs.
All right, I mean, they have prepared, and I think they will prepare as well for the international stage. Once again, thank you very much, everyone, for watching. My name's Infinity, and this is Omo. We're gonna peace out as we have already deciphered this amazing Wild Rift finals for the Singapore qualifiers.